The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the June 16th, the marvelous Monday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day, and let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more important than that, and that's this, during this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to send me an email. Send it off to Steve at TFNN.com. Inside that subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tigers den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Marvelous Monday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. We'll begin our day here with a sea of green when it comes to U.S. indices, all trading to the upside. 401 points for the Dow. What, 1% for the S&P, 65, 1.5% for the NASDAQ, 323, 1 4/10 for the Russell, 30 points there, 1.5% for the Trendies, 216, 3.5% for the semis, 176 points there, 300 points for the composite. That's a 1.5% move. Gold is back $31. That's down 0.9%, nearly 1%. Silver is up at 10 cents, printing out at 36.45. Electric crude is back 270. She's printed at 70.29. Natural gas up 10 pennies. Our leaders in the clubhouse to the upside, Mercado Libre up $74. Monolith Power Systems $38. Circle Internet $27. Regen Cell Biosciences, 27. KLA Corp, 24. Our leaders to the downside, Sarepta Therapeutics, $17. Lockheed Martin down 16. Northrop Grumman off 14. Argenx SC off 14. Carvana down about $12. So we got things to look at. Of course, I want to look at what you want to look at. Let's first begin. I've got my black background screens going with the white. Things are going to be just a tad slow here, at least during the first segment. Hopefully they speed up after that. Maybe all I need to do is just slow my speaking down. Hard to slow the tempo of Stevie down. If we take a look at the New York Stock Exchange, the advanced client oscillator, we dipped below the zero threshold level on Friday with that sell-off. We're back above it today. If we close back above the zero threshold level, buyers were the ones that were always in control of the market. Spot VIX index had on Friday, took a quick peek at the 50-day exponential moving average, and by the time it closed underneath it. So as long as price remains above that, the S&P 500 should move sideways to higher. So conditions here for the New York Stock Exchange, we're also pretty close, 5935. Yeah, we haven't hit a new all-time high today. We did that last week out there. We're getting pretty close on the market breadth out there. Those are bullish indicators out here. 50-day again, the spot VIX below its 50-day exponential moving average. No reason for us to look anyplace else. One of the reasons why I put left these charts up on our screen was really to be able to take a look at gold, give you guys a feel for what gold is doing around the globe. So if we take a look at gold price in the major currencies, the one where we made a new all-time high on Friday was in terms of yen. In fact, we did it earlier this morning as well. So what this tells us, what you should know, is that there is not a major top in terms of gold priced in U.S. dollars. Gold will not top out in terms of yen before it tops out in terms of U.S. dollars out there. Now, that scenario gets even better if we see other other ways of price of gold being priced, for example, in euros, pounds, Canadian loonies, a yuan, Chinese yuan out there, if those get to new all-time highs. But just simply the message that was delivered to us on Friday and again this morning is that now that doesn't mean that we're going to go take out the all-time highs in terms of U.S. dollars right now. I just want you to know there is no major topping signal using this tool to help us identify what the message of the markets to you and I is for gold. We take a look at how gold is priced in those major currencies. We also have the minor currencies, which quite frankly are major currencies at this stage here with regard to what gold is doing, and that's because of the powder keg over in the Middle East. Now, we are at do we hit a new all-time high in terms of Iranian rial? We got pretty darn close. We did. So let me make sure. So that high was, well, geez, so big out there. 833 out here was yes 9676. So we did hit a new all-time high earlier this morning for gold priced in Iranian rial. You would expect that to be the case. With regard to the Israeli shekel, we just tagged the bottom of that all-time high and moved lower out there. This is an area here that we want to really monitor, right? Because with regard to what's going on in the Middle East, if quite frankly, and look, they've been fighting for 5,000 years. To somehow think that there's going to be some kind of peace come out of this, there's a new product in the market. I see it on the corner shelves. Maybe you've seen it too inside of Whole Foods. It's called Nutso. It's a real thing. I think it's Nutzo or something like that. I don't know what it is, but I would say that's Nutso out there. So we want to continue to pay attention to this. So the interesting thing here really is that we are not at new all-time highs with regard to gold in all of those other currencies. Pretty close in Egyptian pounds, but do we get all the way up there? Nope, we didn't get all the way up there. Same thing in the Jordanian rial. Now, if we take a look at gold itself, just simply we take a look at its horizontal trading ranges, diagonal trading ranges. We've got them both here. This is the weekly time frame chart. The green horizontal lines, those are the horizontal trading range boundary lines, which price typically trades between. When you get above one, especially after you've tested it, you typically get to the next one. In this case here, the next one being 35.47. If we take a look at what gold is doing right now, if you look at the white diagonal channel lines out there, the way that those are drawn, you find one channel line and you just simply replicate that same distance. It's the same thing with regard to the horizontal trading ranges. Those lines were drawn in years ago. Quite frankly, on this chart here, I know that to be a fact, and really kind of interesting how they actually work and hold up. If you take a look at that trend line on that top channel line, okay, that's not where it began. The channel lines began down here, with gold being at the 2,000 level, not at the $3,500 area out there. And so what's interesting here is that we saw price back on the trading week of April 21st spike up, hit the top of one of the rising price channels, that yellow line, and backed off. And now what we're dealing with here is we've got that the white rising, the longer term rising price channel, which price did close above last week. And now the pullback is just testing that level. You know what that's telling me at this stage here, as long as that holds, price is doing nothing more than pulling back to test support, at least from a channel line standpoint. Now, I don't think there's anything else on this set of charts that we need access to, at least at this moment in time. So what I'll do is I'm going to shut this down as we go into that next break, and then we'll start taking a look at Stevie's white background charts. For example, we'll look at the 4 equity future contracts. Each of those have rolled into September. So you should change your charts for that if you haven't already. We come back to this break. That's what we'll begin looking at, the September equity future contracts. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So we're taking a look at the August gold contract here. Now, each of the charts, daily, weekly, and monthly, still have topping patterns that are out there. So those tops do not get negated in terms of U.S. dollars until we see a close above, at least on a daily basis, a close above 35.39.30. True on the weekly, same on the monthly time frame as well. Now, when we take a look at, as we have mentioned, we looked at the price channel lines, the diagonal channels out there, and it looked like price was pulling back and testing support. When price tests support, what we like to do is look for the intraday time periods and see some kind of bottom patterns. Now, the only bottom pattern we actually have is on a daily basis. Price pulling back, testing, rejecting that green oscillator and change line at 34.07. Remember, every time when you're in a strong bullish momentum move, and we don't know if we are or not just yet with regard to gold, we know what action it took on Friday as it took off. Obviously, it's pulling back and giving back much of those gains, but it's actually just testing support. So we've taken a look at a couple of different ways to measure support. What we're not seeing here is some kind of bottom pattern. You'd love to see a TD9 count, a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom pattern, a buy the D point, any of those things. None that we have here. In fact, we have, in many instances, price trading below profile support. For example, that's the case on the 30-minute, the 60-minute, the 240-minute. You're consolidating with inside profile support for the 5-hour chart. The takeaway from here is going to be the 34.07 level. As long as gold holds that, it still may be signaling to us that this was really the buy opportunity of the next gigantic move to the upside. Just all depends on, and really we've got to monitor, I don't want to have a presupposed idea. The presupposition on Friday would have been, because there was a question about, hey, what do we think about a 2-month pullback inside of gold? We only had one there, and I'm pretty sure the caveat that I threw out there was just war, generally speaking, but certainly war in the Middle East out there. Well, that obviously took a turn to the upside, and I expect and anticipate we'll see gold is doing the same thing. That's the message we got with regard to gold priced in yen and gold priced in Iranian rial. this morning out there. So that's enough about gold for this moment in time. We can always come back to that. I'm not sure that there's really too much more for me to share with you there. But let's go take a look at the U.S. daily equity future contracts. So we want to do that because we've rolled into the September contract, and here you've got new profile levels. So I want to be able to share those with you. Get your notepad ready. You've got support down at the 59.93 level and resistance at 61.14 is what we'll call for the ES Mini. Right now, we're just trading in between. Now, we made the round trip. Now, the important thing to note here on the September contract, because we had the June contract when I did the show between 8 and 9 on Friday, when we have different profile levels. But what's important to pay attention to, in my opinion here, is that the ES Mini is the set of profiles that's most important to us. Not the NQ, not the YM, not the Russell 2000. How dare you say that, Steve-O? Well, the reason I say that is because it's the one that was tested and rejected. On Friday, price actually closed below profile support on a daily time frame for the September contract, for the NQ, for the Dow Equity Future contract, and for the Russell 2000. As we speak right now, price got back inside those profiles, and in fact, the NQ likely to target the top of its profile in the 22,253 level. The support area here is 21,904. The Dow Equity Future contract, support at 42,733, resistance 43,390, and in the Russell 2000, 2126 is support, 2183 is resistance out there. In the case of the Russell 2000, it's had a 3-day pullback out there, so no surprise that it's trying to trade higher today. Only 1-day pullbacks inside the ESCNQ and the Dow Equity Future contract. The Dow Equity Future contract is dealing with oscillator and change line resistance up at the 43,062-ish level. It's really pretty close on the NQ. It's so close to the top of the profile that we just will use the top of the profile level. And in the ES Mini, price is actually trading above its oscillator and change line. One time frame where we had 3 of the 4 contracts, equity future contracts, generate potential topping signals is a 60-minute chart. So let's go peeking on that, see where we're at with regard to its TD9 counts. So upper left, you're going to see the ES Mini. And what you will see here, let me just repopulate these screens for us so that we're all looking at the exact same data out here. My apology. Give me a second to get that function key going here for these 3. Now, what you're going to see is that the ESCNQ and the Dow each completed TD9 count topping patterns as we came on board here at 11 o'clock. The NQ, as we speak, right, and this is hourly chart that we're looking at, the NQ's TD9 count top we're trading above right now. That level in what you want to watch is 22,206.75. 22,206.75. If we close above that, the NQ is definitely giving us the message it wants to go target the top of that daily profile that we looked at. In the case of the ES Mini would need a close above 6109. Now, even if it gets that, it's going to find resistance up at 6112. Still, though, another 10 points. 6109 to 6112. Yeah, I don't think so, Stevie. Do your math a little bit better. In the case of the Dow Equity Future contract, the number that price has got to close above to negate its signal is 43,069. If it does that, you'll likely see it move up towards the 43,335 level. So it's going to be the NQ that we'll want to watch. We'll put on my intraday charts. I'll do that during a breakout there, because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shut portions of my system down just so that I get these charts to fire up a little bit quicker. But speaking of that, I need to actually go take a look at a couple of requests that have come in, just so I get through a couple of those, because when I restart everything, I'm going to have to reinsert those anyway. So let's go with the first one. Actually came in, I believe, on Friday, but of course I did my show early, and Sat P didn't know that, but he wanted to take a look, or he or she wanted to look at PPC out here. So we look at PPC. What I've got here is I've got really a 3 drive to a bottom pattern. I've got a 7th wave move bottom signal that's out there with price consolidated inside its profile. So it's got a buy zone between 45.10 and 45.61, resistance 47.12. So if you're looking to add some shares, which I think you were, the better place to do it is between 45.10 and 45.61. Weekly time frame, close below profile support. You'd love to see at the end of the week this to close back about 46.51. Then it will suggest that last week's move below profile support was a false breakdown message. I like that it was a hammer candle. And on a monthly basis, you're just consolidating with inside profile. Sat, you also wanted to take a look at OKTO. OKTA, sorry about that, OKTA out here. And here you're also looking to be able to add to shares. Now, in its case, I don't have as good of a news cycle for you. We're trading below profile support without any kind of bottom signal on the daily time frame. We're trading below weekly profile support, bullish structured profile support in both cases. Now, on a weekly basis, it could be a false breakdown. How would we know that if on Friday price closed above 99.80, 99.82? Let's go with the information set that we have now. Now is not the time to add. Monthly time frame, we're trading below last month's low. That was last month was the first month to the downside. Maybe you're going to get a 2-month move to the downside in OKTA with its price target perhaps being the 86.26, could even be 76.59. But I don't see a place for you to add to your position here or even begin a new position inside of OKTA. We did like the other one just a tad better. Lee, LB wanted to take a look at ticker symbol SMR out here. See if we get this here populated before we go to a break. SMR in the daily time frame, no topping pattern. It's trading up a profile resistance at 42.91 out there. This is bar number 7 of a TD9 count. Needs a bearish reversal candle to form a top. Maybe over the next couple days. Later on this week, SMR goes ahead and confirms and completes a TD9 count top. The weekly is going to go ahead and confirm a TD9 count top on Friday out there. So you may be getting ready for a short-term pullback, and I know you're looking for an entry area. First, let's see if we get that pullback. You've got a new profile that's formed, but let's look at this more in the middle of the weekly. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, traversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs? Trade wars? Analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento over the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are April 11th and 25th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Trader's Edge is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. Let's see how this flows here. Stevie almost made a mistake that wasn't going to work out that well. Let's give it a check. We're looking at MP. This for Sharky inside the Tigers. Then basically the question is, where is it headed? Pretty simple, Sharky. It's headed. The next stop is going to be 36.67. We're at 34.31 right now. 36.67 is the TD9 count breakdown resistance level for its monthly time frame. If you look at the daily time frame shows that we're trading above any kind of resistance out there. You're in full breakout mode on the daily time frame. You're in full breakout mode on the weekly time frame. This is headed higher. I think your question was about maybe taking some profits, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. It's made a run for now, daily, weekly, or push onward. Has it made its run? Yeah, it's made its run. It's going to continue to make its run. If we take a look at the A to B equals CD pattern out here, the B point, which is labeled number C on my daily chart, that's part of the Chapman wave notations, June 9's high out there. That had, June 9th, that had volume of 14 million shares. That was passed with 24 million shares back on June 12th. That gives you an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside out there. Not that you need that. This is just really your price projection tool, right? That's all that the A to B equals. It's giving us the price projection tool. And what it also helps us do is let us know that once price attains the 1-to-1 level, but if you start to see a bearish reversal candle, that's what confirms a sell the D point top. Now, in this case here, you can see I've drawn in that A to B equals CD pattern, and the price is along the left side of that C to D leg. That tells you this is going to do more than a 1-to-1. Heck, today we're already more than a 1-to-1. A to B equals CD. A pattern. I can't give you the price projection levels. It really doesn't matter, because even if I give those to you, it's not. That doesn't mean that's where it's going to stop. On the daily time frame, Sharky, so to the extent that you're concerned, should you take anything off, watch the daily time frame. If you see a bearish reversal candle, you'd have a sell the D point top out there. That would be at least suggesting you get some type of retracement. Now, that retracement may only be a 2-day retracement out there. So just be careful. You got a strong momentum play out here, but everything says onward and upward to at least 36.67. So, Sharky, I hope that helps you out, and best of luck to you. We're going to go take a look at SOXX. So I only have one chart that is open on my screen because the entire system actually needs to be flushed out to get rid of some of the other work that I was doing before I came on the air out there, just to speed things up. But this will work for us. So in the case of the Sox, this is for Duncan Steve inside the Tigers Den. So in the case of the Sox, what do we have out here? We have I don't have a top in place out here. What I have is a consolidation right now between its daily profiles. It did have a sell the D point top, but that was negated today because prices closed that gap. It's closed the resistance of that bearish separation line out there. What we do have is a consolidation with a buy zone, Steve-O, between 215.95 and 218.26, and resistance at the top of the profile, 229.80. Now, there's a possibility if we get a move above 229.80 that we're going to trigger a TD9 count, a weekly TD9 count pattern that would form between this week and the next two out there. That's as prices rallying towards its TD9 count breakdown level at 233.44. So where's resistance? Daily is 229.80. Weekly is 233.44. Monthly is 231.25. And monthly is 240.47. Those are your numbers to the upside to watch. No idea whether price will take out resistance or not. We're moving into a daily swing point from back on June 11th that had volume of 10 million shares so far in the first 2 hours of trading. This is on 2.6 million shares. In other words, this is doing about 7.5 to 8 million shares. That's moving into a 10 million share day. So you are moving into that swing point with a little bit lighter volume. Doesn't mean to sell or anything like that. Just giving you the analysis, Dunk, of what's going on inside SOXX. You want to also look at NVO. So let's pull that up on our screen out here. And hopefully this is able to populate in maybe 8 seconds, 9 seconds. That would be a beautiful thing. How about that? Looks like we've got, come on, monthly. Come on, there you go, less than 8 seconds. Maybe right at 8 seconds. On the daily time frame, you've got a TD9 count top here, Dunk. That went ahead and completed on Friday. And so we've got prices pulling back to test support. And the support level here, the bottom of the profile, has already given way. I want to just make sure of that. Let me just doubly check out there. 7767. Yeah. So the bottom of the daily profile is given way. That tells you what the price is going to do. It's got to encounter with its green oscillator and change line at 7614. And that's going to be, such an important meeting. A kiss and tell says that you continue to head to the upside. A longer kiss, meaning you get below that green oscillator and change line, that says that longer kiss could take you all the way down to 70.58. That's its TD9 count breakout level. So that's option number 1 with regard to where NVO is headed to. Option number 2 is on a weekly time frame. Support is at 72.34. So a close below 76.14-ish out there. Maybe you don't get to 70.50. You won't know until you see how price deals with 72.34 out there. You got to love the monthly TD9 count bottom out there, but the monthly's really not playing any role in what's going on here. It's the daily TD9 count as well as Wave 7 top. You don't need more than one top to have a top out there. So watch that 76 and change level there. That's going to give you an idea of where things are headed to. Now, it's always possible, and this would be very strong. This would be strong like bull, Dunk, that today is the bottom. Why? Because it would just be a 2-day pullback. And what we have seen since this thing made its bottom back in April 21st out there, this has had 1, 2, 3 2-day pullbacks before price moved higher. Is the fourth time a charm? No idea out there, but just provide you with the information so that you can make your decision. Hope that helps you out with regard to NVO, and thanks so much for your request. Next request coming in from LB. DYLLF is a ticker symbol. So let's go ahead and get this populated out here. DYLLF selling out at a buck even Steven right now and trading above the top of its daily profile. That's the good news, Lee. The bad news is you've just triggered wave number 7. That's letter G. Now, it's not that that's bad news. It's just bad news that you're likely to form a short-term top. That short-term top is not going to take place until you see a lower high out there. You get a bearish reversal candle, and what you're going to have there is a Rhodes momentum indicator top. Now, in both those instances, what we would see is price pull back to test support, which right now the first level of support is going to be 92 cents. That is the top of the daily profile. The weekly is going to go ahead and confirm a TD9 count top on Friday. It'll complete that pattern next Friday. That's suggesting to prepare or for retracement back towards support. On a weekly time frame, that would get you to 79 cents. So you don't get to 79 until you bust through 92. And then if you bust through 92, you've got 85 to 87, which is the buy zone on the daily time frame. Monthly chart looks awfully bullish out here. Now, price is trading inside its swing point high out here, which is from the month of May 2024 out there. There's 2.5 million shares that traded. Then so far we're 2.2, and it's only the 16th. This is pushing into that swing point with volume out there. That's a beautiful thing. So any close at the end of the month above 95 cents says you get up to the $1.20 level. The weekly time frame says no reason for us to wait. Let's go do that now. Since I'm in bar number 9, I'll be forming a top by the end of next week out there. And the daily says I don't have a problem with that either. So DYLLF, just a little caution. That's all. Just carry one of those small umbrellas with you. But otherwise, looks like it wants to rally further. We come back from this break. We're going to look at ETN for Greg, XPEV for GTE, and of course anything else that you'd like as well. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We're looking at the ticker symbol ETN. This is for Greg. Everything is looking good here daily. Price closed today above 333.98 is close above is another profile change in trend signal out there to the upside. I don't see any kind of topping pattern. We are in wave number 6. That's letter F out there. So there's a possibility you could form a wave number 7 type of a top out there, but nothing to worry about as we speak right now. The weekly time frame is very bullish. Price is now trading above its TD9 count breakdown level. That TD9 count breakdown level is at 330.55. Looks like it wants to go close the gap. In order to do that, that means it needs to get up to at least 350.48. I think that's at least where it's headed to. The only cause for pause would come from the monthly time frame chart. Monthly time frame chart shows that price is basically sitting right at its oscillator and change line, 338.62. Or at 338.71. So you just simply want to see it continue to trade above 338.62. That's a bullish outcome. Now, its resistance level would be 365.18. So daily looks bullish. Weekly looks bullish. Week looks like it wants to deal with closing that gap, maybe higher. And the monthly says, long as I stay above my green oscillator and change line, I can make a move to 365.18. So, Greg, I hope that helps you out with regard to ETN. Hector and Patty, GTE wrote in. He wants to take a look at XPEV. Of course, XPEV, remember the daily chart here. We've got China equity that we're taking a look at. So all those gaps are irrelevant. Those are just simply currency conversions out there. So when I take a look at the daily chart, does it really provide us with a ton of information? It doesn't provide us with any more information than the weekly. And the weekly's got a TD9 count top with price trading sideways. Really, price been trading sideways ever since March 28th out there. The resistance point may be around the $22 level, and support in essence being the bottom of its weekly profile at $15.97. You do have a daily profile with a buy zone between $16.69 and $17.80. Wish there was really more that I could provide for you there, but there's not, and that's what we've got going. We take a look at XPEV. Hector and Patty want to take a look at FTAI, so let's do that. Let's put that up here. And the question is, do we see any way for this to get up towards the 150 level? And the answer to that question is we absolutely do. But in order for that to take place. Hector and Patty, what you need to see is a close above the daily TD9 count top. The daily TD9 count top, that took place on June 9th, and the high there is 130.98. You close above 130.98, and you are off to those races out there. Now, is it the 150 level that it gets to? Do I have a price target? Well, what you really need to see, what would happen with a close above 130.98 is that the monthly chart would be trading above the top of its green oscillator and change line. That's currently the top, the green oscillator and change line. It's currently at 128.37. So if you can do both of those things, you just have to do one, which ends up doing both. Then what that would take us to, at least at this moment in time, 11:45 on June the 12th, the next resistance area, which would be your price target, would be 155.76. Your question is, can this get to 155? The answer is absolutely, positively. Look, that TD9 count top on the daily time frame for FTAI did nothing more than pull back and test support. So its work to the downside, in essence, could be done. Now, to the upside, can it take out that TD9 count top? Price is trading into its swing point from June 9th. Volume there, 1.1 million shares. So far in 2 hours of trading, 387,000 shares. So you're close. It's pushing into that swing point with volume. So that's the work that FTAI needs to do out there, Hector and Patty, in order to get to that 150 level. Always good to hear from you, and thanks so much for your request. Mohammed writes in. Mohammed wants to take a look at Powell, P-O-W-L, out here. So let's go see what Powell is trading into, what it's trading at, what it's doing. 199.09 daily looks to be in a breakout mode out here. In fact, you could be forming an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. All it needs to do is close above 198.19. We're at 199.09. And do it with more than 436,000 shares. Well, today's volume so far, 104,000 shares. So a little bit light in the loafers with regard to volume on the daily A to B equals CD pattern. Let's actually open up the daily chart out here. Let's see if maybe there's something else we should be looking at. And the answer is there probably is. So the swing point, really, it's not much of a... It's more, this has been more of a consolidation than an A to B equals CD. That was a smaller A to B equals CD pattern that we're looking at. So the real key level, Mohammed, that Powell needs to close above is the Three River Evening Star candle formation that formed on March 25th. That basically set up the consolidation high. And if price can close above 201 even, Steven, then you're going to have a consolidation move. That consolidation move says take your rectangle tool out there, draw that. Actually, I'll do the more conservative one. That would probably be it. This will be it. We can just simply take this, add this to the top of the consolidation, and that would get you up to the 244 level. So that's a daily time frame pattern that is going on. We take a look at POWL. What's going on the weekly basis? The weekly basis price is trading above profile resistance as long as price remains above 193.21. That's a bullish outcome, and that suggests even though I gave you a much larger consolidation breakout level, gets you 244, 211 in change is the monthly oscillator and change line. That's really your next level of resistance out there. And if price can close above that, what that gives you is a price projection of 293.59, the top of its bullish structured profile. But first, you'd be dealing with that weekly consolidation pattern. So that's what we see, Mohammed. We take a POWL. Hope that helps you out with that. You had a second request, which was to look at UPS. So let's go pull up UPS, see what we've got going on out here. UPS trade at $100.71. That is trading above the top of its daily profile. So that's a bullish outcome. The weekly is trading below the bottom of its weekly profile. So that's a bearish outcome. So let's do a coin toss there and say, neutral. We ain't neutral on the weekly chart. The weekly chart does not have a monthly chart. The monthly chart does not have any kind of bottom pattern. It does have a couple different A to B equals CD patterns at downside you could use. Look, they'd simply need a bullish reversal candle to confirm a bottom. And then more importantly, in case of UPS out here, Mohammed, you're going to need to see a close above the oscillator and change line to suggest that there's any upside traction. Prices have been below the OUL since April of 2022. That is the nemesis to the upside for UPS. We want to take a look at QUBT. This is for Sharky inside the Tiger's Den. QUBT is trading out right now at 1978. It formed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top on Thursday of last week. That's led to a consolidation with inside its daily profile that ranged between 1536 and 2091. And then a two-day pullback on Friday, and now it's rallying up there. This thing thing still looks pretty bullish. What it's going to contend with is resistance up at that 2091 level. Now, the swing point out here has volume. That was from back on the trade day of June 11th, 131 million shares so far today. This has done 31 million. So it's moving higher with light volume, but consolidating inside the daily profile. Weekly looks bullish out there. Only a bearish reversal candle would suggest otherwise. Monthly chart looks bullish as well out there. So everything looks hunky-dory with the exception of the daily Rhodes Momentum Indicator top that has led to nothing more than just a consolidation with inside its profile levels. Now, because it hasn't really tested a level of support, that would either be the bottom of the profile at 1536 or its green oscillator and change line, currently 1641. I can't say that the work to the downside is done, but you just have a nice little consolidation there, Sharky. So the monthly and the weekly are saying not a big deal, at least not as of 11:50 a.m. on June the 16th. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We come back to this break. Let's take a quick peek in on the ES Mini, see if there's any intraday signals for you there. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. So we got the ES Mini intraday charts. We got the daily time frame is up on our screen as well. 61.13. Let me make sure. I think 61.13 is the top of the profile. 61.13. It is 61.14. We've been up to 61.09. So what's that tell us? We're up at resistance. 240-minute chart, resistance 61.05. 120-minute chart, 61.05. 60-minute time frame chart, we've got that TD9 count top that formed at TD9 count breakdown resistance. That was up at the level of 61.12.25 out there. That suggests a retracement back to 6,068. 30-minute time frame has a TD9 count top. That suggests a retracement to 60.85. If you close both 60.85, then you get to that 60.68 or 60.58 level out there. Those are the tops that we see here. Let's try the NQ, see if we get this thing here populated before we actually go to break. We should be able to. We've got this may take about 15 seconds to populate. So I hope everybody had those of you that were dads had a terrific Father's Day out there. Hope everybody had a great weekend, beautiful weekend of weather down here. Great golf, great end to the U.S. Open out there. Wonderful hockey. Looking forward to tomorrow's game. But here when we take a look at the NQ, we're up towards profile resistance as well. Again, the top of the daily, 22,253. We've been up to 22,222. You got to love that. Profile resistance on the 240 at 22,202. 22,192 is the resistance on the 120. The TD9 count top remains inside the 60-minute time frame. Only a close above 22,206 negates that. That would suggest price should pull back towards a 22,012. The 22,040-ish level. TD9 count top that's going to complete here as we come off the air on the 30-minute time frame for the NQ. That suggests to move back to 22,19, maybe even the 22,054 level. So hope that helps you out, folks. As always, good to be with you, and I will look forward to seeing you later today with Tommy. If not, then tomorrow at 11 a.m. sharp. Have a magnificent Monday. Thanks for joining us, folks. Take care and be safe out there.